Joining me now from Dallas, Texas, Convention of the States Coordinator, Tamara Colbert. Tamara, states' rights and federalism. This is the entire reason the framers of the Constitution put Article 5 into our founding document. So we, the people, would have redress with the federal government if it happened to go out of control. We would have it through our individual states. And so that's what you are at the Convention of the States is attempting to do right now.
And let's make federalism great again. That's really what this is all about. What Convention of States is trying to do is elevate a constitutional dialogue for our nation that has not happened since 1791. And obviously with so much partisanship and whether it's the media trying to divide, whether it's other political icons trying to divide us as a nation, I think the Constitution will enable us to come together, and that's what Convention of States is trying to do.
And just to reiterate, in case folks aren't up on their Article 5, they don't happen to have a pocket constitution in front of them like I do right here. It takes 34 states to trigger an Article 5 Convention of the States. Texas, your home state, just became state number 11 in this process. How'd you do it? Is this a model for other states around the union?
Well, of course, you know, in Texas, we like to think we are leading in this. Obviously, people say, well, number 11. But I think what we are trying to do from a grassroots perspective in Texas, now that we've passed, it really does enable Texas to work with other states where we have an affinity, Wyoming, Montana, New Mexico, to help transfer knowledge and help their grassroots base get fired up. And we are looking forward to that, Graham.
But you did have a groundswell of support, not only in your legislature, but also at the grassroots level, correct? You had many, dozens of co-sponsors of this legislation, right?
We had 80 co-sponsors. We ended up having, our final vote was 94, 14 additional, including a couple of Democrats, signed on. We have over 126,000 grassroots in Texas, and our goal is to double that by December. And I'm not joking when I say we have hundreds, 500 to 600 people now in Texas joining the Convention of States movement every day because they see it as a viable, can-do, action-oriented way to elevate our voices, but actually make a real difference at the state level, and that's exciting.
And, you know, I mentioned that southern states are leading the way, and you all are. There's a pattern here that's developed early on, and hopefully the pattern will shift because it's going to need more than the southern states to get these things going. But you look at Alabama, Georgia, Florida, Tennessee, Louisiana, and now Texas. You know, that's 6 out of the 11 states that have signed on for a Convention of the States so far. So do you feel like there is some momentum here? Since February 2016, I believe there's been 7 states that have signed on to a Convention of the States. Is there a momentum building?
Graham, Missouri passed late into the evening on Friday. So we are with 12 states now. We are 1/3 of the way there. And this is really exciting because, you know, when we look at George Soros now as taking a stand and putting all of his money and effort into just trying to destroy the Convention of States project, we know we're right over the target because we're starting to take flack. And, you know, we are excited. It's not just the South. It may have started in the South, but it's actually moving north. And we have got states right now who have been waiting for both Texas and now Missouri to pass. Those are really big states with a lot of grassroots and have had good nonpartisan support from both sides. So I think we're going to be used as an example moving forward. It's exciting.
Congratulations to the Show Me State. And this is important because we see President Trump going into Washington, D.C. and trying to drain the swamp. He's had, I think, pretty good success so far. I think there's a lot more swamp creatures to root out there. But the bottom line is, he can only do so much unilaterally as the President of the United States. And by the way, I believe that Donald Trump has kind of tacitly signed on to an Article 5 because he's come out in favor of term limits. And that's possibly one of the amendments that could be discussed at an Article 5 convention. So, but the bottom line is there's a lot of change that needs to happen, and the president, because I believe the Congress has refused in many realms, has limited power to enact these changes. For example, you have the battle in the Ninth Circuit today over the Trump travel ban. Well, the problem with that is activist judges, and the president can't really do much about that except appoint people, but there are people who've been appointed by, for example, Barack Obama, who are doing the damage here. So it's up to the Congress or we, the people, to try and rectify this situation. And that's why we need an Article 5.
Graham, you're the best. Our grassroots in Texas really appreciate you and all over the country, because I have to say, you have been on this. You have keenly been aware, with your complete understanding of the Constitution and the power inherent in it, to giving we the people the opportunity to fix what is the problem with Washington, D.C. You're exactly right. This is the people's time now. And we are seeing every day people saying, oh my goodness, I had no idea I can be part of a solution, which is exactly how our founders intended it to be. So thank you.
Well, you're doing all the heavy lifting. I'm just a pretty face here.
Hey, well, you know what, Graham? We like your face, and maybe someday when you get a chance and you're somewhere out here, maybe we can get you to Texas to come and speak to a couple thousand people.
You got it. No problem at all. 22 more to go with Missouri signing on board. Tamara, great work. Thank you.
Sign the petition at cosaction.com and get as many of your friends and family to do the same. With your full address, your state legislators will know that you really are their constituents in their district. Our success depends on you, so we're inviting you to be part of history. Let's invoke the constitutional solution that's as big as the problem.